Good morning, America. Welcome to the Today Show. Today is March 7th, 1790, and we will be interviewing John Adams, who is the current Vice President of the United States. Hi.
Hi, how are
How are
you?
you doing today?
I'm doing very well.
You
Thank you.
seem nervous.
I'm not nervous at all.
How does it feel to be appointed Vice President of the United States? And how do you think this prominent position will affect, like, your sons and their sons, the subsequent generations?
I feel as though even more important positions are going to be in my future and that of my sons. My children will certainly be helped by my new career. My son John Quincy in particular seems to have a bright future ahead of him.
I agree. He's very smart.
Yes, he is. Thank you.
What were you thinking while you were hearing, like, all the celebrations when you came ashore?
Well, I was certainly gratified by such a display from the people, but I also found it quite exhausting and can only stand a day of such fanfare.
Something you need to get used to.
I suppose it is.
How will the passing of, like, the people who signed the Declaration of Independence, how will the fact that they're all gone affect the way you govern this country?
Well, I will have to work with young men who I have only ever heard of, as opposed to the men who I have formed friendships with over the years. However, as for these young men, I have only heard excellent things about them. They are described as being smart, and they seem to have excellent careers in politics ahead of them.
Yeah, I wish you guys the best in the way in governing this country.
Thank you.
During your elections, you said a quote, a very important quote. If
Yes.
they mortify my vanity, they give me comfort. What does this quote mean?
Well, back then, I was still being considered for the post of the vice president. So, I tried to display such worries as meaningless, because I said that no matter which way the Congress would vote, they would either increase my pride or my happiness.
Yes, and being vice president is still like a good position. You get.
Indeed, it is. Yes.
I agree. Were you a bit disappointed that George Washington beat you in the accumulation of votes, or how do you feel about that?
Well, I was initially devastated by the news. My pride was deeply hurt despite what I had said beforehand.
Really?
Truly. But however, as being vice president, it is an important job.
It's obvious that the country is in, like, a bad situation as it relates to, like, travel, finance. We don't have a military.
Yes.
What do you think, what methods will you employ to try to develop this country, because we need that?
I will try to strengthen the country by creating a strong central federal government. I will work with some of these young men who I have talked about previously to create the Bank of the United States and other institutions.
Okay, that's a great idea.
Yes, thank you.
What effect does the abuse you took in the vice president's place have on you as a leader? Like, how you've been through a lot during this time in your life, and how will that abuse affect the way you govern us as a people?
I've become much less optimistic as a leader, and I've become much more cynical, world-weary, and exhausted about the entire political process. However, I have accepted my lot and my limited powers as the vice president and will lead dutifully.
I hope so. Your wife Abigail, she's a very beautiful lady.
Thank you.
How do you think she affects the way your position as vice president? Does she affect you positively, negatively, neutrally? How do you feel about her being there?
Well, my wife is much more cynical and world-weary than I am, even, due to her frequent European trips and chronic illnesses. I feel as though she is much more pessimistic than I am.
Okay. So you think she affects you negatively?
Yes, I would have to say so.
Okay. I think, like, America on a whole views you as a very, like, egocentric person. Do you think America's prosperity was solely, like, your achievement, or was it you and another person or group of people?
I feel as though the continuing prosperity of America is due to not only my part, but to works of other men in the government, such as George Washington, the President, Alexander Hamilton, the Treasurer, and members of Congress, and James Madison. Various members of the Cabinet and Congress have certainly helped me achieve my goals.
Okay. So you're saying you weren't the only person?
No, I was certainly not the only person. I had much help.
Because many people think you view yourself as like the sole reason why this happened, but they're wrong apparently.
Yes, they
Okay.
are.
Okay. How do you feel about Jefferson?
I feel as though the issue is no more. I hope it has been laid to rest. Sometime in the future, I hope to talk with Mr. Jefferson about the events that have happened, such as the negative letters and such. I no longer harbor any resentment or anger against him, and I wish him the best of luck in all of his future endeavors.
That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
That's a really good way, positive. It was nice meeting you, John Adams. I wish you all the best in your endeavors.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
It's nice to be here. Thank you.